What's up, y'all? It's Fitz with FatherFlex.com. Thank y'all for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about what does self-love look like in 2025. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out FatherFlex.com. Premium apparel for fathers who want to be healthy for their families. Let's get into it. What does self-love look like in 2025? Before we get to what self-love looks like in 2025, I want to give a little background about what had me thinking about what self-love looks like in 2025. So, I was chilling and I just found myself watching all of this content where it seemed like what people were describing as self-love was actually a lack of accountability. And here's what I mean. I found myself watching content where it seemed like people were just making excuses, and within their excuses, it seemed like they found that they were justified in not doing what it takes to have the type of life that they wanted, or in playing the victim card. And so what I mean by this is, it's now considered self-love for you to be overweight and do nothing about it. It's now considered self-love for you to go to a job, complain, not put the work in, get fired, and then say there's nothing that you could have done and there's nothing you can do better and that you're perfect. So what I'm getting at is self-love in 2025 to many people is just a lack of accountability. That's what self-love manifests as. It used to be that self-love was a sense of confidence, was, your self-worth, how you feel about yourself, your values, and they were tied to your values. But now, self-love is not about how you feel about yourself. Self-love is now how other people should feel about you. Self-love is, you don't get what you want, and because you love yourself so much, you're not willing to make the changes. That's what I see. People claim that the reason why they shouldn't have to exercise, they shouldn't have to make changes in their life, they shouldn't have to upskill, they shouldn't have to work on their communication, because they shouldn't have to change, and we should just accept you how you are. We should just accept you how you are. So if you big, if you got that gut on you, you got that thing right there, we should just accept you for who you are. We should accept you for who you are. We shouldn't prompt you to exercise and lower your blood pressure. We shouldn't prompt you to exercise and get healthier so that you're not dying earlier. We should just accept you who you are, accept you how you are. And on top of that, we should say that you being unhealthy should be normalized. Or you having an attitude and not being able to properly communicate your feelings and crashing out at work or on other people, we should just accept that because you're you. And so I really believe that self-love has been confused. So I'm going to give a healthier definition of self-love. Self-love is a general sense of loving yourself, but on top of that, also understanding that there's work to be done. There's work to be done. Self-love does not mean you never have to change, you never have to get better, you never have to challenge yourself. That's not what self-love is. Self-love is, I love myself, but I'm committed to growing. It's your general sense of loving who you are, being content and fulfilled with who you are, but also understanding there's room to grow. And so, the reason this is an important conversation is because we're moving into a new era of America where politicians, leaders, teachers, they're going to try to convince you, they're going to try to convince your children that it's okay to be mediocre. That it's okay to be mediocre, that everyone should subscribe to your limited view of the world and how you view yourself. If you're a C student, but you think you're an A student, people should see you as an A student. If you're lazy and you don't want to put the work in, people should still come patronize your business and hire you. If you overweight, people should still want to date you, and they shouldn't say anything about your weight. If you have high blood pressure and diabetes because you decided to eat those cakes and you decided to eat that food and you decided, we should all just put that to the side and not have anything to say about it. This is the world that I would argue, not only are we moving towards, but that we're sort of already in. I want to help you navigate this world. 1, do not believe the bullshit. Do not believe it. Do not believe that you don't have to put any work in and that everything's just going to fall in your lap and everyone's going to love you and it's going to be lovey-dovey. Don't believe it. Don't believe that everyone else is looking out for your success and that your sob story has any monetary value, has any value at all. It doesn't. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. If you have kids, you need to make sure that your kids are in alignment with your values. If you don't have kids, you need to make sure that you have some values that you stay aligned with. Because right now, the winners in 2025 and moving forward are going to be the people who can look themselves in the mirror and say, I'm a good person, but there's room to grow. All these other people that think that they're good just the way that they are and there's no room for growth, they're going to stay stagnant. They're going to stay stagnant. And so in 2025, I think the greatest symbol of self-love is being vulnerable enough to challenge yourself. Be vulnerable enough to challenge yourself. This is one of the biggest issues today, is that people don't challenge themselves anymore. We get in our little echo chambers online. We get in our echo chambers in real life. A lot of us done lost the skills of communication to where we struggle to even interact on a human level with other people. And because of that, you have a bunch of people that have overinflated their value in the marketplace, whether it's dating, whether it's the job place, no matter what it is. You have a lot of people who have overinflated their worth, their value when it comes to what they produce and their value to society. And so I believe if you want a healthy level of self-love in your life, you have to stop drinking your own Kool-Aid. Like, you have to stop believing that you're the shit no matter what. You have to stop believing that, you know, the world revolves around you. All that. Because all that shit, it only works in your fairy tale land. When you go get a job, what skills do you bring? What value are you bringing? When you're an entrepreneur, what results are you getting? Right? When you go from a low pressure environment to a high pressure environment, then you start to see what you're really made of. And if you have this, I want to say, warped view of self-love to where people should just accept you and not criticize you and not, let you know where you've fallen short and stuff like that, you're not really going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And on top of that, you're never going to really be able to grow. You're never going to really be able to grow. So let me know what y'all think in the comment sections. I'm really interested to hear what y'all got to say on this topic. What does self-love mean to you in 2025? How do we get better? How do we make sure that we're staying on track with our goals? All of that. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next video.